guys, welcome back to my channel. I hope you're having a wonderful day. Today I wanted to come on here and discuss with you my thoughts and my opinion on the Anastasia Beverly Hills Modern Renaissance palette. The palette comes in a little box that looks like this, and then on the back of the box it looks like that. So there's what the actual packaging looks like. Nice. I mean, it's very pretty packaging actually. I'm going to keep the box. I usually keep most of my boxes because I like to keep the palettes in the box. I don't know if that's strange or not. I just do. Then the palette itself looks like this when you get it. It doesn't have stains on it like mine does already. That's the one flaw I can see in this palette already, because the palette is like a, I don't know, like a velvet material. It does get a lot of stains very quickly, very easily. So if you're going to be having your fingers in this palette or whatever and you're touching this palette, it's going to stick to it and it's going to stain it. So that's probably the only flaw I can see so far in this palette. When you open the palette up, it has a nice mirror on the inside, and then it has the little peel off thing, which I haven't peeled mine off yet. And then it comes with a brush, and the brush, let me pull the brush out one time so you can see it. The brush has a nice big fluffy end, and then down here's a little more tapered. And the brush actually works pretty good. I wouldn't say it's the best brush I've ever used, but it's not the worst brush I've ever used either. So it works if you are in a, if you're not wanting to buy a new brush to use with this palette, or if you do not have a brush, it will get the job done. And then the palette looks like this on the inside, and there's all the beautiful colors. They remind me of fall. These colors look like fall to me. I just think they're really pretty nice. These berry tones and this orange and the browns all look like fall. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to swatch this palette out using my finger first, and then going alongside of it with the brush. Any shade that is a satin shade, I'm going to use a flat brush. Any shade that's a regular shade, like it's a matte shade, I'm going to use a more blending brush. Not a blending brush, but it's a little more fluffy. So let's start with Temp Tempura. So Tempura is this color right here. So if I put my finger in it, there's what the color looks like compared to the palette. And then I'm going to swatch it here. Whoops. So there's Tempura. So now we're going to take and put the brush into it a couple times. And we're going to go alongside of that with the brush. And you'll see that it's almost as pigmented with the brush as it is with your finger. It's a very, very nice shadow. I think it's one of my favorites out of the group, because it works really well for laying down. If you need a base color, that's going to give you a great base. I think it works really well. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you that I'm going to clean my brush off using the Vermeer color switch. Clean my brush off so that it's nice and clean, nothing left on it. And then we're going to go into the next shade, and the next shade is Golden Ochre. So here's Golden Ochre. So I'm going to put my finger in it, and we're going to swatch it right here. So there's Golden Ochre, and then now I'm going to put the brush in it and do the same thing. I'm going to go over here on the side of this so I can show you the color of it. And I'm not using heavy strokes. This is a very light stroke. I just think this palette works really, really well. This color is more of a skin tone color, so if you're looking for a skin tone color, that works really well too. I think that, I don't know, I just think this whole palette honestly is awesome. The next shade is Vermeer. Vermeer is right here. So now I'm going to go in with the flat brush, because Vermeer is more of a, it's not really a shimmer, it's more of a satin shade. So I want to use a flat brush to show you the sample of that, to show you a swatch. So let me make sure the brush is clean. And then I'm going to put my finger in it first. So there is Vermeer. Show you side by side. Vermeer right here and on my finger. And then now let's swatch it. So there is Vermeer. Look how pigmented that is. I mean, come on. That is gorgeous. So now I'm going to take my flat brush and dip into it a little bit and do the same thing. Again, I'm not using a heavy hand. It's light pressure. You can see how pigmented this whole palette so far is. It's gorgeous. That's a very nice shimmery pink shade. So it's like a pinky tone, and it's got a lot of shimmer to it. Not really shimmer, it's more of a satin, I would say. Then we have Buon Fresco. I'm not sure how you say that word. Buon Fresco. So let me show you the color, and then we'll do a swatch. So there is Buon Fresco. I'm not sure how you pronounce it, but maybe you can pronounce it better than I have. I've kind of butchered the word. So, and we'll swatch that with our finger. So there's Buon Fresco with my finger. And then that one is more of a matte shade, so we'll go in with the powder. Whoops. Let's make sure it's clean because I'm not sure I cleaned it after the last time, so let's make sure it's cleaned off here. All right. Buon Fresco right here on the brush. And here it is swatched. Now this one's coming up a little bit lighter than what it did with the finger swatch, but it's still pretty pigmented. I would still say that's pretty good. It looks like you could build it up too. And like I said, I'm not using heavy pressure. I'm using a light pressure. You can see the powder coming off the brush there. I think it looks like another beautiful color. That's a more of a purple matte shade. So if you're looking for, it's like a very light, like a plum purple. The next one is Antique Bronze. Antique Bronze is right here. And we will do a finger swatch. So there is the finger swatch of Antique Bronze. Right here and there. And then we'll swatch it on my hand. So there's Antique Bronze. And Antique Bronze is a shimmer, so we will switch back to the flat brush so we can do a swatch. It's not really a shimmer, like I said, it's more of a satin, but it's got a little bit of iridescence to it. So here's the flat brush. And as you can see, it's pigmented, but not quite as pigmented as the finger swatch. And you can build it up though. Again, that's another beautiful shade. And it was with the finger swatch, to me the finger swatch kind of shows you what you can do with it if you kind of add a little bit of water. So if you really want to oomph the color up, you can add a little bit of water to it, and that would definitely increase the pigmentation to it. The next one is Love Letter, and Love Letter looks like this right here. It's a nice pretty purple. It's like a purplish red. It's really pretty, like a raspberry. So here's Love Letter on my finger. And then, wait a minute, I need to do it side by side. So let's see, side by side, there it is. And here it is swatched. Oops, did we wipe off? Yeah, we did. Here it is swatched on my hand. Beautiful. Look how pigmented that is. I did a really crappy job with swatching that for you all though, so hopefully you don't fault me too much on that. That is a nice matte shade, so we'll make sure our powder brush is cleaned off. And we'll dip in and we'll do a swatch with the powder brush. So there is a last swatch of, look how beautiful that is. I mean, come on. That's gorgeous. Both ways are both completely beautiful. I just think this palette, honestly, if you haven't picked it up yet, it's not limited edition. It is a permanent collection to the her collection, the Anastasia collection. I think I would definitely look into getting it either now or when Sephora has their VIB sale. I think you're not going to regret getting it. The next one is Cypress Umber. So here's Cypress Umber, and then we'll do a finger swatch. I'm trying not to blind you guys with the mirror on it, so I'm trying to like flip it back down. There's Umber. And then now we'll do with the brush, make sure it's clean. And we'll go in with the brush and do Cypress Umber. I'm holding too many things here at the same time. Look how beautiful that is. I mean, honestly, can you get any better than that with a brush and with a finger swatch? It's just gorgeous. I am so pleased with this palette. I think out of all the palettes that I've tried this year so far, this one has the most pigmented. So if you're looking for a palette with a lot of pigment to it, this is it. This is the one to go to. The next one is Raw Sienna. Raw Sienna looks like this. There it is swatched, and there it is on the pan. And now we'll swatch it on my hand here. So there's Raw Sienna. And then dip the brush in. I already cleaned the brush. And there's Raw Sienna on the brush. I mean, it's gorgeous. Can you guys see how pigmented this is? It's just, it's like, to me, it's almost beyond words how pigmented this palette is. It's just gorgeous. So far, we've had, what, 2 shimmer satin types, and then the rest are matte. So, and that's another great thing for me because I am a matte lover. I think matte works really well for someone with aging skin like me. The next one is Burnt Orange, and Burnt Orange is right here on my finger and then right here in the palette. So we'll swatch Burnt Orange, and I already cleaned the brush. It's clean. So we'll dip into Burnt Orange, and there it is swatched with the brush. Gorgeous. I love it. Love, love, love it. So now we only have a couple more shades to go, and the next one is a shimmer type satin, and it's called Primavera. Here's Primavera. And we'll finger swatch first. So here it is on my finger. And then here it is swatched on my hand. See how beautiful that is? That is gorgeous. It's like a gold with like reflex to it. That would be a beautiful highlight if you could get your little highlighter brush in there. That would make a gorgeous highlight. And here it is swatched with the brush. You can see that it's just as pigmented, just as beautiful with the brush. What a beautiful shade. I love gold shades. That's probably one of my favorite shades in any palette, is like a gold, because I think you put gold in the center of your eye and that really gives you a pop of, like, it kind of puts light into the center of your eye. I really like that. The next one is Red Ochre, and Red Ochre is right there, and let's finger swatch. So here's Red Ochre on my finger, and then Red Ochre swatched. Beautiful. And that is a matte, so we need to go back to our powder brush over here and make sure it's clean by using the Vera Mono Color Switch. So now we'll dip into Red Ochre, and here is Red Ochre with the brush. Gorgeous. Do you see how beautiful that is? I honestly have nothing bad to say about this palette other than the packaging. I think they should have stuck with something a little more easily to be cleaned. Other than that, I think it blends well. I think it wears well. You do not have to use a primer with this in order for it to stay on your face all day. I think it works great. The next one is Venetian Red. And this is Venetian Red right here. And finger swatch. And then here it is. Look at that. That's so pretty. Oh my gosh. I just love this palette. And then the brush swatch. Look at that. Look at that pigmentation. I mean, and like I said, I'm using the brush very, very lightly, and you can see just how beautiful the pigmentation is on that. It's just gorgeous. If you're someone who likes berry tone shades, very neutral, not really neutral, just like warm tones, I think you would absolutely love this palette. If you're someone who doesn't like to spend a long time sitting there building up your eyeshadow because it doesn't have enough pigmentation, this has plenty of pigmentation. I think you would love it. The next one is Warm Taupe. And there's Warm Taupe, and then finger swatched, there's Warm Taupe, and then on my hand, here is Warm Taupe, and then with the brush all nice and clean, here is Warm Taupe. Again, look at the pigmentation. I mean, finger swatch to brush swatch, I don't really see much difference. I think both of them are gorgeous. I think this palette is just, I can't tell you guys how many times I've used this and been just so happy with the way it looks. I have this on my eyes today, so if you guys are wondering, this is what I'm wearing. So if you guys like this look, maybe I can do a little get ready with me type of thing using this palette if you would like. The next thing is Realgar. Realgar, I think that's how you pronounce the last one here. Realgar. And finger swatched, looks like that. And then with the on the hand, it looks like that. That one's really pretty too. It's like an orange color. I can't wait to wear this with some blue this fall. Going to UVA games. I am excited about that. So let's make sure the brush is clean and go into Realgar. And here it is on the brush, and here it is swatched. Seriously, I mean, look at that. Lightly. Do you see how light I'm going with this brush here? I mean, that's just gorgeous. I don't think you can find better pigmentation in a palette. And this is only, I think, $42, I'm pretty sure. I'm not positive. I will have it listed below the price of this palette. You can find this on, I believe Ulta has it now and Sephora has it. But see right there, I mean, look, I just barely touched it right there with my finger and it's already got another new stain on it and it doesn't come off. It'll just smear, but it doesn't come off. So that's the only downside I see to this entire palette, is that the packaging is a flaw, because I would not have put velvet to where it's going to be all fingerprinted up and ugly after using it a couple times. But as far as pigmentation, longevity, and wearability of this palette, I think it has a 10 out of 10. I think this palette is gorgeous. I don't think there's a shade in here that I would not wear. I think I would wear every single shade in this palette. And I will wear every shade in this palette. I think I need to do a 1 month, one palette and just use this and then photograph some looks and let you guys see those different looks that I wear with this palette, because I think you can create tons of looks with this palette. Honestly, I think it's just gorgeous. I recommend getting it. I think it is definitely a buy. I would go pick it up as quickly as you can, not quickly, because it's not a limited edition, so you don't have to run quick. You can run, but just run and get it. I think it's really great. I think if you like berry tones, if you like the warm tones, I think you would love it. I think if you like a palette that's going to have a lot of pigmentation, I think you'd love it. Other than that, guys, I think this is definitely a win. If you're looking at getting a new palette and you're undecided on which one to get, I would say try this one. I think you will fall in love. Other than that, guys, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you guys next time.